Hi, everyone, and welcome to Zacapa Resources corporate webinar. This is Will Mays from RB Milestone. Joining us today is Zacapa CEO and Director Adam Melnik, and we're going to discuss current operations, recent achievements, and upcoming milestones. Zacapa is a fairly newly listed company on the TSXV under the symbol ZACA. At the end of the presentation, we're going to offer questions, and if you're interested in asking questions, you can do that right through the Zoom Q&A app. Please note that this presentation is being recorded, and that is June 8th, 2022, and will soon be available on the company's website at zacaparesources.com. Lastly, RBMG is not a registered investment advisor or a broker-dealer, and for more information, please visit our website at rbmilestone.com. So, Adam, welcome to New York. It's great to have you here.
Thank you all. Great to be here.
And as I thought maybe that we could start off by you telling us a little bit of the backstory of the company. The fantastic portfolio of projects that you have and that are located in some great jurisdictions in the southwestern U.S. And that'd be great to get a little bit of an overview.
Happily, well, yeah, we're really happy to be here in New York with you guys in person. It's really refreshing. Yes, so Zacapa is a newly listed company, as you mentioned. We IPO'd in January, but we've been working very hard as a private company over the last year to advance our 6 exploration projects within the Southwest U.S. We have 4 copper projects and 2 gold projects. We're in key mining-friendly established jurisdictions, including Arizona, Nevada, Colorado, and Idaho. And we're very excited now to expose to the market all the great work we've done as a private company to advance our projects to drill-ready status, and we've started drilling our projects. So we just executed very well a porphyry copper exploration program at Red Top, our project in the Copper Triangle of Arizona, and next month we're sequentially moving over to our cornerstone gold project, the South Bullfrog project in the heart of the Beatty district in Nevada. And we're very excited to create catalysts through the drill bit for our investors.
Great. And as you're aware, there's lots of mining companies out there for investors to look at. Maybe you could tell us how Zacapa's differentiated from your peers.
Absolutely. This is a very, very important question, Will, and one that I'm very proud of having been a part of. So Zacapa's key differentiator is that we invested in districts and projects when the market and the majors were fearful. So in the depths of the COVID-19 pandemic, we consolidated our 6 projects and started investing in our team and raising capital from sophisticated investors that understood that the market outlook was quite strong. And now we're in a position, I doubt we could repeat this success of consolidating the same projects in very, very interesting, prolific districts that we are in. I doubt we could repeat that success in today's market environment. So that's a key differentiator, is investing counter-cyclically and maintaining conviction when prevailing market sentiment gets challenging. We need to go and drill our projects and create catalysts for investors and maintain conviction despite the prevailing market sentiment.
Great. And being relatively new to the public markets, maybe you could tell us a bit about where you've been last 6-12 months and where you're going.
Absolutely. So as I briefly mentioned, so we've done a lot of work in our projects as a private company, getting our projects drill ready. And we actually made the bold decision as a new management team and a new company to start drilling one of our most compelling porphyry copper projects in Arizona, the Red Top project, as a private company, so that we had catalysts for investors at the time of our IPO. And the market responded to some of our early results from that project quite favorably. So we're very excited about the momentum we built as a private company over the last 6 months, and I think the outlook couldn't be rosier. We're about to drill both of our gold projects in the Beatty district of Nevada and the Boise Basin of Idaho over the coming months at a time when gold prices are quite favorable, and we could create a lot of value through the drill bit at those projects.
Great. As you said, you have these great projects. You've been able to assemble a great team. Maybe you could tell us, how are you able to attract the team and your service providers and some of your partners in your projects?
Absolutely. Really important to note, Will, that our team of explorationists is led by Dr. Tim McIntyre. Tim is a graduate of the Colorado School of Mines. He has a deep network into academia, some of the top exploration geology and mining engineering schools within the US and Canada. So that's a great starting point in terms of how we attract good talent and identify good talent within the North American ecosystem. But importantly, at Zacapa, we're starting with culture first and creating the right environment for exploration geologists to thrive and grow and develop professionally. And that's a great differentiator in terms of attracting high quality talent to our organization. In terms of attracting contractors and service providers, we're proximal to great infrastructure, being an asset base all within the United States. We can get consultants on airplanes and vehicles very quickly and out to our sites and engage with our internal team rapidly, and all without leaving the United States, which is quite an important point given the past few years of where we come from when travel was more challenging. And also just the prolific, interesting geology that we have at our projects is attracting a lot of inbound interest from service providers and counterparties that may want to help us advance our projects as well. They're very interesting, and we're investing at a time when market sentiment is a bit weak, but doing some very interesting work where others can help us out.
Very good. So great team, great projects, great jurisdictions. Maybe you just drill down for us a little bit on your near-term focus.
Absolutely. So we just put a press release out in the last 2 days about our South Bullfrog project. We've done all the geochemical and geophysical work at this site in the heart of the Beatty district to understand the potential for gold mineralization. And we're now progressing through to drilling this project starting in July. So we've got an initial 5,000 meter drill campaign planned there. And I think the pathway to value is extremely clear, being so proximal to major operators here, including AngloGold Ashanti, Kinross Gold, Coeur Mining, and Augusta Gold. We have great neighbors, and this district will soon have 2 new operating mines within the next 2 years from no production currently. So it's really developing well, and we have a dominant property position in the center of that district, which we're going to start drilling next month. So very exciting. That's our near-term focus. Well, we're also planning a drill program for our Miller Mountain project in Idaho. So drilling both the gold projects we have in our portfolio over the summer and fall months. And I think this is going to create an immense amount of value and interest in our company over the coming months. So that's our near-term focus.
One of the keys legs to your strategy is to have projects in jurisdictions where the majors are active. And maybe you could speak to some of the recent activity and actions that's been going on in around with your neighbors.
Happily will. I mean, this was foundational to our corporate strategy, was to build out a portfolio of assets next to major operating mines and world-class development projects. And really, the only way Zacapa was able to accomplish this and wiggle its way into districts where really, as a small junior exploration company, we don't belong, is that we were counter-cyclical. We invested at times when the majors and mid-tiers in our industry were fearful, and we grabbed dominant land positions and very interesting, compelling projects in prolific districts like the Copper Triangle of Arizona, the Yerington District of Nevada, the Beatty District of Nevada. And really, I don't think in today's current market environment, we could repeat our success of having built this portfolio, because now, the majors operating in the Southwest US are net cash, paying record dividends and doing share buybacks like they've never seen. They're in the best financial position they've been in the last decade, and they're starting to return to growth. So we're seeing a lot of competition, really, and I don't think we could reproduce the success of what we have built and consolidated within our company. But in the Copper Triangle, where we've just completed our Red Top drill campaign, Rio Tinto, BHP, Freeport, and Capstone, and Sarco through Grupo Mexico are major operators and are making money hand over fist right now at over $4 per pound copper. And it's our thesis that making a large discovery under the nose of these major operators demonstrates a really clear pathway to value, having number one, the geological analogs and precedents of world-class operating mines next door, but also the ability to potentially partner or exit in the future with discovery success. In Nevada as well, at our South Bullfrog project, we're completely surrounded by AngloGold Ashanti, who bought Corvus Gold and just closed that transaction worth almost $500 million Canadian in February. Augusta Gold is very active as well and has just bought a mine across the highway. We're going to have those two producers, those two majors in production within the next 2 to 3 years, just north of our project and just south. We also have Core Mining and Kinross Gold operating in this district as well. So I think if we make a large discovery in Nevada, there's a very clear pathway to value creation for our shareholders, and I'm extremely excited to get started.
Great. You know, it also sounds like on the regulatory front that there may be some optimism happening. We've got the Defense Production Act that's been talked about recently, and the Unleashing American Resources Act, and maybe you could, talk to us a little about that.
Happily will. I just came from a number of conferences over the last month that have been delayed due to the pandemic. And, one of the top questions I get from our investors and new potential investors is surrounding American policymaking. And even if we do have a large discovery, what's the probability of developing this asset? And I think it's really important to note that, in the districts we're in, American companies and major global diversified companies have been operating here for the better part of 50 years. And even though we're not building, tons of new mines right now, there are some really interesting policies that have been put in place by the current administration that I think are a bellwether for the direction that this country is taking. I mean, sitting here in New York, I feel like I'm really close to the action, and it's great with an all-American portfolio to have a better understanding of what's happening within the current administration in particular. So there's two acts I've been watching closely. Is Biden's Defense Production Act, which was enacted to secure America's supply of critical minerals and metals, which at the moment excludes copper. But in our view, given the scaling up of electric vehicles and electrification and the renewables, it's really important to have copper because copper conducts electricity really well, and it's actually fundamental to a number of these technologies being deployed and scaled domestically. So it's our view that the copper industry will as well similarly be enabled by the Biden administration. One good example of the momentum being created within Arizona and in Congress is Congresswoman Lesko has recently, just the last 3 weeks, proposed the Unleashing American Resources Act, which specifically could see resolution re-enabled by the federal government here. So I think there's a lot of momentum at the state level, especially in mining-friendly states like Arizona and Nevada, to see new world-class development projects coming in to satisfy the impending supply deficit and really boost America's prominence in primary industry again. So it's great to see, and I'm quite optimistic about the current administration and new potential administration, their view on closing the supply chain gap that leaves this country extremely exposed to countries like China.
Mm-hmm. Great. And you just announced financing. You said a press release yesterday, I believe it was. You can raise up to $5 million. Congratulations. And I'm just wondering if you might be able to tell us, what your plans are for allocating that capital.
Thank you very much for the question. Well, I think it couldn't be more timely. We're here in New York meeting with new potential investors, and most importantly, Crescat Capital has announced its intention to become an even larger strategic investor and increase their shareholding to 9.9% within our company. And this is just a fantastic result, and I'm really happy that Crescat has the conviction in our projects and our team to go and deliver exploration results in America at a time when many others are lacking conviction and market sentiment is really challenging. So I think our partnership with Crescat's a very important one, Will. And the use of proceeds for this $5 million is to go and drill our 2 gold precious metals projects, both South Bullfrog and Miller Mountain. And it's our view that we can create a lot of value for both these projects and get our share price moving in the right direction. And this could be really interesting for investors. So that's the primary use of proceeds. Our Red Top drill campaign, it's important to note that we tripled the size of our program at that project based on early technical success at that project. At surface at Red Top, there was no copper. But in all the drill holes we put into the ground there, we found chalcopyrite and bornite. So high-grade copper mineralization, not necessarily economic ore grades, but we know we're high up in a porphyry system there. We're doing everything we can to understand the potential that lies beneath. Okay, so that was perhaps more capital than we had planned to allocate from the IPO on, but we were opportunistic and used the world-class drilling contractor we had, Ruin Drilling out of Idaho, to expand the size of that program and do our best effort at vectoring in on the core of a porphyry system close to resolution. So that created a bit of a near-term cash requirement. But we have large strategic investors, including Prescott, backing us now in the marketplace, and we're doing this raise privately to avoid paying broker fees and broker warrants and minimizing the dilution for our shareholders, of which I'm one as well. And our management team and board will be participating in this private placement as well.
Great. And I know you've covered it broadly, but I was wondering if you could just provide, what investors should really focus on the milestones coming up in the next 6 to 12 months.
We've been very clear from the outset, Will, that we believe we can create maximum value for our shareholders by advancing our 5 exploration stage assets. We just successfully delivered on a 6-hole drill program in Arizona at Red Top, and we're moving over to South Bullfrog next to drill a cornerstone gold project, which could create some very interesting catalysts for investors. Subsequent to drilling South Bullfrog, we'll be drilling Miller Mountain in Idaho, followed up by our porphyry copper project in the Yarrington district of Nevada, Dewdrop, and then moving back to the Copper Triangle in Arizona to drill our Pearl project. So we believe we can create the most value for our shareholders through consistent news flow and catalysts from the drill bit. And so that's what we're going to execute on, and we're right on plan.
Great. Well, you mentioned there some catalysts for investors coming up. I was wondering if you might be able to provide your thoughts on, what's been going on in the overall sector and what's happening with Zacapa stock, and why you think, this is a good opportunity for investors to be looking at Zacapa.
Absolutely. It's a perfect question. Well, one we get often. I think there's a general lack of market sentiment at the moment, and a lot of investors as well are feeling a bit of pain from the market at large. But really, we've demonstrated once as a private organization that we're not afraid to invest and be counter-cyclical. I think it's really important to note that if we don't keep pressing ahead here while times are tough, we won't be able to have catalysts for our investors in the future. So it's really important that we continue investing, continue exploring, continue investing in our good people, that we can create a lot of value, and the market will eventually recognize that fact. So I think there's 3 key reasons why Zacapa presents a compelling investment opportunity today, which I've been shouting from the rooftops here in New York. Number 1 is you're investing in great people. Our Vice President of Exploration, Dr. Tim McIntyre, is absolutely world-class. I've really enjoyed working with him, and I'm very proud of the momentum he's built in our 5 exploration projects in particular. Number 2, we have extremely compelling exploration targets. We've invested millions of dollars as a private company. We've now exposed to the market where we believe our most compelling targets are, and for one project that we haven't yet exposed, we'll be very transparent with the market about where we intend to go and drill in the future, and share all of our geophysical and geochemical results, so that people understand where their capital is going and how we're generating value at the project level before drilling. I think it's really important to note that at a time when the markets are a bit choppy, we have really important strategic investors like Prescott Capital, who's going to back us and shares our view on the market and the outlook, and that we can continue to attract high quality institutional investors such as Prescott, even when times are tough. So I would really encourage you to explore investing in our company as I have, and join us on this journey.
No, great. Thanks, Adam. And thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And the recording will be made available shortly on Zacapa's website. And that's zacaparesources.com. And if you have any questions that weren't answered here on the webcast, you feel free to email us at zacapa@rbmilestone.com. And that concludes the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.